People that heal from cancer with natural remedies do 9 things. When you follow these 9 protocols, you can reverse or prevent cancer. Learn what these 9 things are next. I have taken these 9 healing protocols from the book Radical Remission by Kelly A. Turner. She worked as a cancer counselor at a cancer research hospital in San Francisco. She read the book Spontaneous Healing by Andrew Weil, and it was then that she discovered what she calls radical remission. It's a patient that survives at all odds by using natural remedies. Kelly began trying to find other cases of radical remission, and it turned out that no one investigated these cases. Kelly then decided to study what survivors did to reverse their conditions. She interviewed numerous cancer patients that survived against all odds. So what are these 9 healing protocols? The first thing that cancer patients did to reverse cancer was change their diet. Many survivors reduced or eliminated sugar, meat, dairy and refined foods. And they also increased their intake of vegetables and fruits. And most of them also focused on eating organic foods and drinking filtered water. As I said numerous times on this YouTube channel, meat can increase our risk of cancer. It contains several components like IGF-1, heterocyclic-amines, heme iron and saturated fat that can increase our cancer risk. Milk contains casein, which makes cancer cells grow, both in petri dishes and in lab rats. Radical remission survivors cut back on dairy because of the unhealthy chemicals in most US dairy products such as antibiotics and pesticides. Dairy products do not provide us with any nutrients we cannot get elsewhere. We have often heard that we need milk to get enough calcium, but you can get calcium from plant foods. Radical remission survivors also reduced the amount of refined foods they ate or eliminated them entirely. So they focus more on eating carbohydrates in their whole forms, such as vegetables and fruits. They provide the body with everything it needs, such as vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, fiber, glucose, protein, and even healthy fats. And numerous studies have shown that eating vegetables and fruits help you prevent getting cancer in the first place. Cancer patients that eat more vegetables and fruits live longer. And the majority of radical remission survivors talked about the importance of ridding their bodies of chemicals and toxins that we are exposed to in our world today. Almost all radical remission survivors switched from soda, juice and milk to water. And they made sure to filter their water and avoided tap water as much as possible. The second secret that radical remission survivors did was to take control of their health. If you want to survive, you need to take an active role in your health. You have to be willing to change your life and deal with resistance. So taking control of your healing is considered good by radical remission survivors and essential for the healing process. Western medicine sees the body as a machine that has parts that can break sometimes. But alternative healers see the body as a sophisticated organism. The body can function well if you take proper care of it. So it's like taking care of your car. You can drive it like a maniac, scratch the car, use the wrong fuel, and don't do any oil change. Or you can drive it gently, get high quality fuel and oil, and clean it regularly, and therefore your car will last longer. And it's the same with your body. If you follow certain health principles, you can make sure that your body stays healthy and can avoid cancer. But sadly, Western medicine has trained us to be good patients, and we have forgotten that we have the power to change our health. We hand over all responsibility for fixing our problems to doctors instead of taking care of our body. And we know that doctors are the third leading cause of death in the United States. Doctors often give us pills that mask our symptoms without resolving the underlying issues. And instead these drugs cause side effects and haven't solved the underlying issue. Radical remission survivors question their doctors more than regular patients, and they don't do what doctors tell them to do. Instead they take an active role in their healing process and research everything. If you want to reverse cancer or prevent it, you need to analyze your life and make changes, even if it's time-consuming and emotionally difficult. When you take an active role in your healing, you will get some resistance from others, but you have to be strong and deal with the criticism as best as you can, and don't let others affect your healing process. Therefore, radical remission survivors have a strong backbone to deal with the resistance. All these survivors took control of their health and became active in the decision-making process. Feeling helpless can weaken our immune system, and we are more likely to die when we have this attitude. The third thing that radical remission survivors did was follow their intuition. If you want to survive, you need to check on your intuition before making any decision. Some people's intuition comes from an internal voice or deep knowing, but it can also be a physical sensation. Or they can get intuition from their dreams, meditations, journals, or coincidence. Sadly, most humans have lost touch with their instincts. Animals are more in sync with their intuitions and can spot any danger and know if a certain food is bad for them. But we rely more on the expertise of other people than looking inside. So we take whatever medicine our doctors give us or eat any processed foods we find in the supermarket. When we rely on doctors or other people, they can be wrong and inflict more harm. And we can't forget that in the 1950s, commercials showed doctors in white coats promoting the health benefits of cigarettes. But later we found out that cigarettes could increase our cancer risk. Doctors have financial interest from the big pharma drug cartel and want people to take their drugs. If people heal their conditions without drugs, they would go out of business. Intuition is the sixth sense or instinct that seems to come from a deeper place. Survivors believe they have an innate intuitive knowledge about what it needs to heal, and it can lead them to know what got them sick in the first place. Survivors believe that it's vital to check your intuition before making any healing plan. When you connect to your intuition, you can make decisions to improve your healing process. Every person has a different change to make to restore the balance in their systems. There might be numerous ways that cancer develops, and there's not a one-fit solution to every problem. Instead, we need to follow our intuition and know what we need to change. Your intuition might say that you need to quit a job, and another person has to move to a different climate. Another one might need to start exercising again or change their diet. This idea goes against Western medicine, which aims to find a single cause for a disease and then present a single cure for it. There are different ways you can empower your intuition, such as guided imagery, meditation, journaling, analyzing your dreams, and more. The fourth survival tactic is using herbs and supplements. Survivors use various kinds of herbs to help their healing. Radical remission survivors take vitamins and herbal supplements to clear the body of toxins such as pesticides, chemicals, and heavy metals. But supplements shouldn't be a band-aid solution to healing cancer. It's not a magic bullet. You still need to change your overall lifestyle. If you make radical lifestyle choices, you can avoid taking many supplements, such as getting enough sunshine instead of vitamin D supplements, or vitamins and minerals from your food. If you're not willing to make necessary lifestyle changes by changing your diet or lifestyle, supplements will do nothing. Number 5 on the survival list is releasing suppressed emotions, stress and fear. We know that stress can negatively affect our health and make it more toxic and lead to cancer. Survivors believed in mind-body healing, that our mind and thoughts have a big impact on our health. The German doctor called Reinhard Hammer created German new medicine. He found a link between each cancer and emotional trauma. He took CT scans of people's brains and saw a connection between the brain and when the cancer developed. And when he talked to patients, they all had emotional traumas before the cancer diagnosis. Radical remission survivors focused on clearing out anything that was stuck in their being, whether on the physical level or the emotional level. Suppressed emotion are any emotions that still linger from your past, whether it's positive or negative, or conscious or unconscious. The most common emotions we hold are negative ones such as stress, fear, trauma, regret, anger, and sadness. And letting go of these suppressed emotions can be beneficial for the body. So stress can cause everything from the common cold to more serious issues such as heart disease, autoimmune disorders, and cancer. So stress hormones weaken our immune system. By letting go of our stress, we can remove all these toxic stress hormones from our body. Radical Remission survivors also talked about letting go of fear. They believed it was one of the biggest things to let go. Patients had to be at peace with dying and with living. When they could accept the moment as it was, they had a greater chance of surviving and healing. Survivors had the best way of dealing with uncertainty by staying in the present and being okay with uncertainty. Another thing survivors did was increase their positive emotions. They had to find a way to increase joy, love, and happiness in the present. When we feel happy and loving, our physical bodies are flooded with cancer-fighting immune cells. And when we're out of fight or flight mode, the body naturally begins to repair the cells and heal itself. Positive emotion is like rocket fuel for your immune system, and emotions such as love, joy, and happiness make the brain release many healing hormones into our bloodstreams, such as serotonin, relaxin, oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins. And they can lower our blood pressure, heart rate, and cortisol, the stress hormone. These healing hormones also improve our blood circulation and deepen our breathing, which brings more oxygen to each cell. And they also make it easier to digest our food more slowly, which helps the body absorb more nutrients. They also increase the amount of white and red blood cells, which helps the immune system. People with a positive attitude live longer than people that are more pessimistic. So Radical Remission survivors see finding joy as important as flossing their teeth or working out. All survivors still experience pain, fear, and sadness, and that's hard to avoid. But they still try to become more positive. They start every day with a smile or gratitude. You can become more positive by watching your favorite YouTube video or with a gratitude journal. You should also avoid watching the news, violent movies, or negative content. Have more fun with your friends or get active. Find activities that bring you joy and make that a part of your daily life. Another important step that survivors followed was embracing social support. So it's vital that we get the support of others if we become sick. Humans are social creatures by nature, and at a fundamental level, humans need each other to survive. It begins already when we're babies. A human baby is one of the most helpless mammals on the planet. Humans depend on others throughout their lives. So banding together has historically improved our survival rates, safety, and food production. When we're surrounded by loved ones, including our pets, it releases a lot of good hormones into our bloodstream, which strengthens our immune system. Most Radical Remission survivors believe that the love that they receive from others help their survival. We also know that people with more social connections live longer than people with fewer social connections, and they also have lower cancer rates. Social connections have been shown to lengthen our survival by an average of 25%. You don't need to be married or have kids to benefit from the healing effects of social support. You can still have strong social support even if you're single. It doesn't matter if the support comes from your close friends, family, or another person. The most important thing is to not feel alone. Radical Remission survivors want to be around cancer patients making similar health choices. It's vital that you reduce your loneliness. It's as important as eating your vegetables and exercising. Human touch is also an essential part of their healing process. When we receive love and support, we release healing hormones such as serotonin, dopamine, endorphins, and oxytocin. Oxytocin is known as the cuddle hormone. During physical touch, we release a large amount of oxytocin. And this hormone reduces inflammation and pain, decreases blood pressure and cortisol levels, and improves digestion. If you have cancer, try to join an alternative cancer support group and also spend time with your friends and families. Don't be afraid to ask people for help when you need it. Another step that survivors took was deepening their spiritual connection. These survivors believed they needed to connect to a deeper power of energy than the physical part. Radical Remission survivors describe spiritual energy as warm, peaceful energy that flows downward from head to toe. Spiritual energy doesn't require you to have spiritual or religious beliefs. Instead, it's a mental or physical practice that produces an intense experience of spiritual energy. You can experience this spiritual energy from various things such as yoga, a long run, a relaxing massage, or an afternoon nap. There are also various spiritual practices that can help you get this experience, such as deep prayer, meditation, or chanting. This spiritual energy is about unconditional love. When you connect to this energy, you no longer feel like an individual and part of everyone and everything. It's a deep, universal love available to all of us in every situation. Most of us have to work to strengthen our spiritual energy. It can take time and practice. It's like lifting weights. You can't expect yourself to lift the heaviest weights first. Instead, you need to start with the lightest ones and work your way up, and eventually you will become stronger and stronger. So the first step of connecting to a spiritual energy is quieting your mind. When you quiet your mind, you become more peaceful and centered in the now. Countless studies have shown that decreasing stress boosts your immune system. Meditation is a proven stress reliever, and therefore it's also a good immune booster. A spiritual practice encourages you to feel what you feel in the moment. So you can reach this peaceful state by walking in nature, doing guided meditation, daily prayer, or joining spiritual groups. Another vital thing that Radical Remission survivors did was having a reason to live. They shouldn't be confused with letting go of the fear of dying. Instead, it's a feeling of wanting more of life and feeling inspired by it. You need a higher purpose in life, otherwise you will give up. You need to both let go of your fear of death, but also have reasons to live, not from fear but inspiration. Your desire to live has to come from the deepest core of your being. When you have a strong reason to live, you improve your chi energy in the body. For many people, having strong reasons for living means adding creativity back into their lives. But sadly, creativity is something most people avoid. Many people's jobs do not provide them with enough creative energy. Being diagnosed with cancer tends to force people to reflect on their lives and their remaining time. If you want to heal from cancer, you need to focus on why you want to keep living instead of why you don't want to die. Cancer patients that have more depression also have a quicker death. Our thoughts have a strong effect on our body. There have been cases where people got a false cancer diagnosis and they died soon after that when they lost hope. You can improve your will to live by learning a new hobby, wanting to see your kids grow up, or to focus on your spiritual energy. You can make a simple list of all your current reasons for living and enjoying life. And when you do that, you are more likely to improve your internal state and do what's needed to survive cancer.